We start with a point. Hi everyone, welcome back. Rob Bryanton again with the Imagining the 10th Dimension video blog. And today we're looking at what has turned out to be currently my most popular blog entry of all time in the text version of my blog. And it's called Jumping Jesus. Now the picture we're looking at behind me, we have looked at before. It's by Belgian surrealist René Magritte. And it's titled Ceci n'est pas un pipe, This is Not a Pipe. And in the map and the territory, we looked at this thought-provoking painting and we talked about Alfred Korzybski, who gave us this simple but profound quote, "The map is not the territory." He's responsible for a science he called general semantics, which Wikipedia sums up as follows. Korzybski's work held a view that human beings are limited in what they know by 1. The structure of their nervous systems, and 2. The structure of their languages. Human beings cannot experience the world directly, but only through their abstractions, non-verbal impressions or gleanings derived from the nervous system, and verbal indicators expressed and derived from language. Sometimes our perceptions and our languages actually mislead us as to the facts with which we must deal. Our understanding of what is going on sometimes lacks similarity of structure with what is actually going on. He stressed training and awareness of abstracting, using techniques that he had derived from his study of mathematics and science. He called this awareness, this goal of his system, consciousness of abstracting. His system included modifying the way we approach the world, e.g., with an attitude of, "I don't know, let's see," to better discover or reflect its realities as shown by modern science. One of these techniques involved becoming inwardly and outwardly quiet, an experience that he called silence on the objective levels. Korzybski's work has influenced a number of deep thinkers, including Robert Anton Wilson, who we'll get to shortly. It was Wilson who coined the term the jumping Jesus phenomenon. In Computers and Consciousness, we talked about the conundrums we are bound to encounter as computers become more and more powerful. If a computer is able to map and seamlessly recreate all of the mental processes of a human being, is that computer conscious? And the video for Computers and Consciousness I'll provide a link to for you right now. Okay, so did you go watch that video and now you're back? Let's pretend that's what happened. Because in that movie, in the background, I'm showing scenes from something called The Singularity is Near, a YouTube movie with the clip of that name. But after further research, I see that the scenes are actually from a 2006 three-part documentary series on the notion of transhumanism by Belgian visual artist and filmmaker Frank Thijs, called Technocalypse. Here's what it says on his website. The accelerating advances in genetics, brain research, artificial intelligence, bionics, and nanotechnology seem to converge to one goal, to overcome human limits and create higher forms of intelligent life and to create transhuman life. Frank Thijs conducts his inquiry into the scientific, ethical, and metaphysical dimensions of these technological developments. The film includes interviews by top scientists and thinkers on the subject worldwide, including Marvin Minsky, Ray Kurzweil, Hans Moravec, Terence McKenna, Bruce Sterling, Robert Anton Wilson, Margaret Wertheim, Rael, the Dalai Lama, and many more. This looks like it would be a great DVD set to own, but it appears the program is not available in a format that will play on North American players. Too bad. Still, the entire series is available on Google Video, so I'm going to put links to all three parts. Each of these clips is over 50 minutes long, so make sure you're comfortable if you're going to follow these links to see the movie. We've talked about the transhuman movement a few times now, in Suffering in the Multiverse and in Computers and Consciousness. And we talked about the idea that our reality is accelerating in ways that seem entwined with our awareness in numerous entries, including TENS, Google in the Expanding Universe, Google in the Group Mind, The Stream, Evolution's Fast Lane, and Boredom and Consciousness. The images I showed behind me in my video for Computers and Consciousness come from part 2 of Technocalypse, which after some shots of scientists working in clean room suits, shows a visualization of our history as a moving landscape, from fire to agriculture, the wheel, and so on. We start with the innovations very far apart, but as we move through the landscape, they become closer and closer together. Futurist novelist Robert Anton Wilson appears and talks about this concept. And here's what he said. The jumping Jesus phenomenon is my name for the acceleration of information throughout history. I first heard of that through Alfred Korzybski, a Polish mathematician who invented a scientific discipline called general semantics. Korzybski noted that information was doubling faster and faster every generation, and he said, "We've got to be prepared for this. We've got to train ourselves to be less dogmatic and more flexible so that we can deal with change." He took the year 1 AD as his basic unit to calculate how long it took for the information available to human beings to double, and it took 1500 years, which brought us up to the Renaissance. Leonardo da Vinci was in his 40s, and the Renaissance was at its height. So Robert continues, he says, I decided to call this unit a Jesus. So in 1 AD, we had one Jesus. In 1500, we had two Jesus. The next doubling only took 250 years. So already you can see the acceleration factor. And by 1750, we had four Jesus. The next doubling took 150 years, and by 1900, we had 8 Jesus. The next doubling only took 50 years, and by 1950, we had 16 Jesus. In 1960, in only 10 years, we had 32 Jesus. By 1967, we had 64 Jesus. And by 1973, we had 128 Jesus. And the latest estimate I've seen is by Dr. Jacques Vallée, a computer scientist who says that knowledge is doubling every year. But I heard that estimate, 5 or 6 years ago. I saw something on the net recently. Someone estimated it's doubling about twice a year now. How can we possibly deal with such an overwhelming deluge of new information? I've talked about the need for quieting our narrator voice in a number of previous blogs, including Logic versus Intuition, Daily Parrying, Are Animals and Kids More Fifth Dimensional? In my book and in my song Automatic, Korzybski's work seems to have an interesting connection to the idea that we do better when we can achieve silence on the objective levels. And it seems clear that the goals of meditation and mindfulness training, as ways of dealing with the dizzying amount of change we are now experiencing, can be tied together into Korzybski's theories of general semantics. Quiet your mind, stop the needless loops, and enjoy the journey. Now, next time we're going to look at two entries that are being tied together. They were also quite popular text blogs for me. Mandelbulbs and How to Time Travel.
Must have been running on automatic. I simply can't recall. How did I get here? What was I doing? No clue at all. Lost my place in the conversation. What were we talking about? Thought I was here. Must have been dreaming without a doubt. Automatic. 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 Must have been running on automatic. What was for breakfast just this morning? I really couldn't say. Out there circling another planet, so far away. Where was my head at? Was I driving? Not even seeing the road. Was I only going through the motions? Don't even know. Automatic. 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 Must have been running on automatic. Julian Jaynes showed me he had the answer in the bicameral mind. Consciousness broken down into pieces. Oh, what a find. We've all been running on automatic since we were back in the trees. But still we made it here on automatic. How can it be? Automatic. ain't beautiful and complicated? Does it ever seem strange? How could we do that on automatic? Hard to explain. Automatic.